Welcome inside Canale Arena here on the CBU Bucks Live Network, where tonight Christian Brothers University will play host to West Alabama in a matchup of two Gulf South Conference teams. Alongside Dr. John Smorelli, I'm Tyler Springs, and this is CBU Bucks Live from inside Canale Arena in Midtown. Dr. John, the CBU team a little bit shorthanded tonight and facing a very talented West Alabama side that's 10-3 on the season. They bring some big guys to the fold and also a veteran-laden team.
Exactly. Well, Happy New Year first.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, and it's great to start the new year. We've got CBU just started their classes, so there's another stress on our team in addition to some of the injuries we've been facing. So it should be an exciting game, and again, any conference game can go any way, and home court generally gives you a major advantage in conference, so let's hope CBU can take advantage of being here in Canale Arena.
CBU comes into this contest with a record of 5-8 on the season. They are 2-4 under first-year head coach John T. Riley in Gulf South Conference play, but 4-2 in this building. Whereas West Alabama comes in with a 10-3 record. They are 1-1 away from home. They have played most of their games in Livingston, Alabama. They are 3-2 in Gulf South Conference action. The head coach for West Alabama is sixth-year head coach Alan Sharp, who previously coached at Arkansas Monticello, Wallace State, Truett McConnell, and Piedmont in the college ranks. Last year, this was a 23-8 team that lost in the second round of the NCAA tournament, and they return a very veteran-laden squad. Let's meet the starting lineups for both sides. First for the homestanding Christian Brothers Buccaneers. Out of the starting lineup tonight is Nick Deifel, who is sidelined by injury. So it will be Darrell Lewis as the lead guard tonight, the 6'1 junior wearing number 12, averaging 10.1 points per game for CBU. He's joined in the backcourt by number 5'8 guard Aiden Ruthsatz out of Edgewood, Kentucky. Ruthsatz averaging 3.3 points per contest. In the front court, Mitchell Mays, the 6'7 redshirt senior, wearing number 22, averaging 5 points per contest, joined by Joshua Jackson, the 6'7 redshirt sophomore, averaging 7 points per contest. And the fifth player in the starting lineup, the senior guard, the captain, Brad Miller, averaging 9.5 points per game. He played all 40 minutes in the game against University of Alabama Huntsville this past weekend, scoring only 9 points on 3 of 11 shooting, all from outside the arc. CBU averages 62 points per contest, and they give up an average of 66 points per game. On the opposite side, for the visiting West Alabama Tigers, the starting lineup is led by senior guard Lawan Hardy, who averages 16 points per game. Hardy wears number 1. He's joined in the backcourt by number 4, senior guard Renee Scott, averaging 6.2 points per game. Those two complemented by Darren Johnson, who wears number 11. He's a senior, averaging 15 points per contest. And in the front court, DeAndre Harper, wearing number 15 at 5.5 points per game. And Ricky Dunaway, wearing number 23 at 13.4 points per contest. This West Alabama side brings 8 seniors, all of them transfers, 2 of them coming from the Division I ranks. They are 7-3 when converting 10 free throws in a game. They've done that 4 games in a row. They are 63 of 84 in their last 4 contests. That means an average of 15 made free throws per game. They will go to the line early and often against this CBU Bucks defense.
This is an incredibly experienced team. As I look top to bottom, experience, tall, big. It's going to be a tough contest for John Riley's defensive-minded CBU Buccaneers.
Starting lineup includes the 6'2 Darren Johnson, the 6'7 DeAndre Harper, and the 6'8 Ricky Dunaway for West Alabama. CBU will counter the best they can with Mitchell Mays at 6'7 and Joshua Jackson at 6'7. In terms of rebounding on the inside, both these teams tend to do a very good job on the boards. CBU averaging 35 rebounds per contest and UWA averaging 36 rebounds per contest. The difference being UWA is typically winning the rebound battle by 7 in an average game. CBU has been good, but not quite that good. They've won the rebound battle by an average of 3 tonight. So between these two sides, getting the boards are going to be critical tonight, especially for a CBU side that's giving up a little bit of size and don't have their usual scoring punch.
Exactly. They cannot give up second chance points to this team. They've got to be able to get blocked out, get the rebound, and then run their offense. That's the only way they can beat this team tonight.
CBU trying to get the bad taste of their loss to University of Alabama Huntsville out of their mouth. They trailed 41-14 at halftime in that contest, eventually losing 66-52 this past weekend. Meanwhile, UWA coming off a loss against a tough Valdosta Saints side, 69-59 on Saturday when they trailed by only 2 at the half.
Well, the beautiful thing is our women's team won the first game tonight, so maybe we've got a run here. So let's see if the men can take up where the women left off.
No less than a doubleheader split tonight for the Buccaneers. Joshua Jackson into the center circle. It will tip things off against Ricky Dunaway. Dunaway leaps and out leaps Jackson, feeding the ball to West Alabama. It'll be LaJuan Hardy to start things off for the Tigers, working down the floor right to left from our broadcast vantage point. Hardy outside the arc, bounces to the free throw line, and a foul called 15 seconds into the game on Joshua Jackson. He will have his hands full tonight with the 6'8" Ricky Dunaway, formerly of Tennessee Tech, the Division I level. DeAndre Harper will inbound. The 6'7" senior sends it in for Dunaway. Around the horn, here's a three-pointer from Darren Johnson. This won't fall, rebounded by Aiden Ruthsatz for CBU. A good first defensive possession.
That's a great first defense. We good blocking out. We got the rebound. Now we run our offense.
Ruthsatz, the diminutive point guard from the right side of the arc, feeds for Darrell Lewis, top side. Now over to Brad Miller along the left wing. Miller working along the baseline. Bounce pass outside, swung around the horn. Lewis around to Mitch May's screen, drops it inside. The pick and roll pass is picked off by West Alabama. In transition, 3 on the way for LaJuan Hardy, and it falls for the first basket of the game.
You look pretty comfortable out there, you know, Tyler. You look very comfortable out there shooting that 3.
Hardy able to ring it up in transition, averaging 16 points per game, shooting 39% from the arc this year. A minute into the game, it's a 3-0 West Alabama lead. On the left arc, Mays will swing it around. Here's Ruthsatz. Aiden Ruthsatz from the right side of the arc, working to the elbow. Kicks it back outside. This is Darrell Lewis, puts it on the deck. Going to the rim, using the length. Can't get it up, but a foul called on DeAndre Harper, who swatted that one from behind. Good job by Darrell Lewis, the leading scorer for this Christian Brothers side, at 10.1 points per game.
We certainly weaved through a number of defensive players and went up strong and got fouled, so it's a good sign.
Built like a 4th grade art project out of marshmallows and toothpicks. It seems like sometimes he's held together by duct tape.
You got that, exactly.
But Darrell Lewis, despite the very spindly frame, is quite springy. 10.1 points per contest. He missed the first free throw. Shooting 46% on his free throws, maybe the weakest area of his game, but he makes 1 of 2 right here. 3-1 the lead for West Alabama as they bring the ball into the front court against this CBU defense. Bucks in their home white uniforms with the red trim. West Alabama in red uniforms with white numerals. DeAndre Harper behind the arc. Goes to the free throw line, kicks it back outside. This is Hardy working on Ruthsatz. Hardy crosses up Ruthsatz, works to his left, kicks it outside. Jay on the way from the baseline, won't fall. Rebound Mitchell Mays, and now a foul from behind on DeAndre Harper.
Nice block out on the part of Mays, and he got fouled from behind.
Harper, the 6'7" senior out of Douglasville, Georgia, will be 26 years old next week.
Whoa.
Older for the college ranks, having played previously at Albany Tech, Shelton State, and South Georgia Tech, but none of those NCAA-affiliated institutions. 18 minutes to play here in Canale Arena in the first half as CBU gets the basketball top side. They swing it right side of the arc for Brad Miller. Down 3-1. Fed to Josh Jackson. Jackson slashing into the lane, tried to lay it off inside for Mitchell Mays, but it gets knocked away by Mike Davis of West Alabama out of play. CBU typically turns the ball over an average of 16 times per game, but gets to keep possession right there. Now a foul called away from the basketball, and this will turn possession over. It'll be a foul on Darrell Lewis. 2 minutes into the contest, CBU down 3-1 here on the CBU Bucks Live Network. Hardy will inbound, working the length of the floor from our right to our left for West Alabama. Here's LaJuan Hardy, the Mobile, Alabama native, laying it off on Mike Davis. Davis gives top side for Ricky Dunaway. Bounce pass toward the free throw line, and now a kickball call on Joshua Jackson. That'll stop the action and bring the ball to the left sideline.
He almost thought he hit a steal there. That's a good move.
Nearly did. The CBU team steals the basketball at a rate of 7 times per game. Inbounding from the left sideline is Darren Johnson. Johnson sends it to the backcourt. Carefully to the hands of Renee Scott. Scott lays it off on Hardy, and Hardy works it across the timeline. Davis looking to enter it. Davis outside the three-point arc, sends it back to Hardy. 9 on the shot clock for LaJuan Hardy. Hardy looks left, goes right, working against Ruthsatz down the lane, puts it up off the window and lays it home for 2, a 5-1 West Alabama lead.
Tough matchup for Rootsats. He's quick. He's a little bit taller than he is. Very difficult.
Great counter move that time for Hardy. Here is Ruth Satz into the front court with it. Swings to Miller, and now to Darrell Lewis around the screen. Lewis dribbles between two defenders, able to split the defense. Lays it off on Joshua Jackson beneath the cup and puts it in for two. Great job by Lewis, who's not only a scorer, but he's become more of a decoy throughout the year. 17 minutes remaining in the first half. CBU down by 2, 5-3. Laid off inside. Dunaway going to the rim and hounded by Jackson defensively. Jackson tagged with the harm here. It'll be Jarrett Gassett up off the bench for CBU to take Jackson's spot. Dunaway to the free throw line where he shoots 78%. Ricky Dunaway out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, averaging 13 points per game. Dunaway with 2 black leggings. Dribbles twice, spins the ball in hand, raises the right-handed shot. This one's off the iron, backside, no good. Jarrett Gassett comes in for the first time. Gassett, 6'6" graduate student out of Memphis, Tennessee. In his last 2 games, averaging 5.5 points per contest. One more for Dunaway. Raises and hits. 6-3 the lead for West Alabama. Mitchell Mays will inbound to Brad Miller for CBU, who brings it across the Buccaneer logo on top of the eye patch at midcourt. CBU feeds to Ruth Satz, left side. Around the horn from Mays to Lewis. Darrell Lewis puts it on the deck, going right side, spins back left. Gives it outside for Brad Miller. Now Ruth Satz beyond the arc. Sends it around the horn. Three-pointer from Brad Miller, off the window, will not go, rattles out of the hole. Rebounded by Lawan Hardy for West Alabama with 16.5 minutes to play. 6-3 the West Alabama lead. Hardy sends it for Dunaway outside the arc, just to the right, guarded by Claflin University's own Jarrett Gassett. Fed inside for Mike Davis. Kick back outside the arc. This is Hardy on the bounce, and now they'll turn it over. Offensive foul called on Mike Davis there. I think trying to set an illegal screen.
Look that way. Yeah, Tyler, this game is off to a very, very slow start. Don't you think? It's almost like they're playing in the mud here for a while.
Kind of a choppy pace.
Not a lot of rhythm here yet. 3 fouls apiece. Not much going on. Not great shooting.
Thus far, though, just a 3-point margin, agreeable for John T. Riley.
Agreeable.
16:06 remaining in the first half. Media timeout coming momentarily. Darrell Lewis feeds to the left side of the wing. Now it's Ruth Satz on top of the NCAA logo. Over to Miller, now to Lewis, back to the right side. 10 on the shot clock as Lewis works it in against Davis. Lewis pulls it back out, trying to get it to Mays. Outside the arc, Ruth Satz, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Ruth Satz fires at the horn. This one gets an unkind roll. Mays bats the rebound out to Davis. In transition, here's West Alabama. 3-pointer from Hardy, this is short. Rebounded by Miller, taken off the rim. Here's Brad Miller, hustling up ahead. Drops it off on Darrell Lewis for Christian Brothers University. Down by 3, they can tie with a triple. 15:25 to go in the first half. Miller drops it off for Lewis outside the arc right side. Here's Darrell Lewis, the Gaithersburg, Maryland native, dribbling outside, top of the key. Sends it to Miller, left side of the arc. Miller gives it to Ruth Satz. Ruth Satz jiggles one way, goes the other, puts up a floating shot from the elbow. That won't fall. Rebounded by Hardy for West Alabama. Here's Lawan Hardy in transition down the left sideline. Fed to the left corner. Darren Johnson gets it back to Hardy. Over to Johnson wearing the green socks, left side. Downstairs to Dunaway. Kicked outside. 3 on the way from the right wing. Won't fall. Rebound off into the hands of Mitchell Mays. Mays, right wing, bouncing inside. In transition, and Gassett couldn't hold it. It'll be knocked out of play with 14:44 remaining. Timeout coming on the floor as CBU trails West Alabama 6-3. It's still early here inside Canale Arena. More in a moment on the CBU Bucks Live Network. out of the timeout here in the first half. 14:44 remaining. CBU will inbound, trailing 6-3 in the front court. Brad Miller has it for the Buccaneers. Fed to Darrell Lewis, right wing. Zip to the top of the key for Aiden Ruthsatz. Now around to Miller. Miller will reverse the ball. Back to the right wing for Ruthsatz, and top side for Miller. Fed to Lewis. Pull-up jumper just inside the free throw, or just inside the three-point arc. Rattles out. Rebounded by West Alabama with 14:22 remaining here in the first half. Alongside Dr. John Smarelli, I'm Tyler Springs. This is the CBU Bucks Live Network. Mike Davis has it at the top for the Tigers. Fed to the right elbow. Kicked outside. Darren Johnson a three. This one won't go. Rebounded by Jarrett Gassett as it comes off the rim. CBU pushing the pace ahead. Outlet pass tipped away by Mike Davis. Stolen by West Alabama. Here comes LaJuan Hardy up floor. Working against Aiden Ruthsatz. Ruthsatz trying to make it hard on him. Lobbed inside for Ricky Dunaway against the 6'6 Gassett. He's got 2 inches of advantage in terms of height. Fed back to the outside. Hardy from the top, working on Ruthsatz. Hardy puts it on the deck and sends it left side for Renee Scott. Scott into the lane, lifts up, floats it in with a right hand, and it's an 8-3 lead for West Alabama. 13:33 to go here in the first half as Miller brings it across the 10-second line. Gassett sends it left side for Mays. Now to Miller, now to the top for Lewis around the horn. Ruthsatz, a right wing three, rains it down.
Boy, we needed that one badly. Tyler, we needed that one.
8-6, and the lead is 2 as Ruthsatz nestles home the triple. Shooting only now 5 of 22 from long range on the season is Aiden Ruthsatz. 13 minutes to go here in the first half. Renee Scott lays it off on the inside on LaJuan Hardy. Hardy, step back jumper from the foul line and drops it in.
He's been the scoring machine for this team, hasn't he not?
Smooth stroke for LaJuan Hardy. Coming off a tough performance last week. 6 points scored against Valdosta State in the loss on Saturday.
And he already has 7, so he's outscored himself.
He is got the hot hand right now. Ruthsatz kicks to Mitchell Mays. Steps beyond the three-point line and drops in the 3. Back-to-back triples from Ruthsatz and Mays have cut the lead to 1 here with 12:30 to play in the first half.
Mays is a guy who's got to look for a shot more often. He goes in, plays long minutes, and doesn't score a lot. And he's got to contribute. He's a good shooter.
Scott will pull the trigger from the right side, and he answers for West Alabama. Sweeping his way back up the floor is Renee Scott for a 13-9 West Alabama advantage. Mitchell Mays will run ahead of the basketball here. Shepherded across the timeline by Brad Miller with 12:05 remaining in the first half. Going to the rack is Jarrett Gassett, and the thunderball from Jarrett Gassett brings it within 2, 13-11 as Gassett rises up from the left side and slams it home.
Great play, great play.
How about the elevation down the left side of the lane for Jarrett Gassett? 11:47 still to go in this first half as Johnson pulls back on the fadeaway attempt from the right corner. This one won't fall for West Alabama, and it's fed to the left side for Mitchell Mays. Crowd stunned into silence by Jarrett Gassett's jam, and now CBU has a chance to tie the game with 11.5 minutes to go in the first half. Ruthsatz with control at the top for CBU. Ruthsatz with a left-hand pass over to the left wing. Here's Miller. Lead pointer on the way. Brad Miller atop the NCAA logo, and the Bucks have the lead at 14-13.
That's beautiful. Great job.
11:10 to play here in the first half, and CBU claims the edge. Hardy into the front court for West Alabama. LaJuan Hardy sends it for Dunaway. Dunaway has it batted away by Jarrett Gassett. On the break, Jarrett Gassett stepped on the baseline, make it the sideline. Gassett was going for another flourish finish, and with 11 minutes to play, timeout will come to the floor. CBU has pulled ahead 14-13 here inside Canale Arena. It's a ball game.
It's a beautiful game. Gass was looking for that dunk. He wanted to dunk that ball, and I forgot there's sidelines too. So anyway, he got too excited about it.
More from Jarrett Gassett and the Buccaneers coming up on the CBU Bucks Live Network. They lead it by 1 over West Alabama. 11 minutes to go in the first half. out of the timeout with 11 minutes to go here in the first half. The basketball belongs to West Alabama. They trail it by a point, 14-13, here in Memphis, Tennessee, against the Christian Brothers Buccaneers. West Alabama working down the floor into the left half. Lawan Hardy with the basketball around a screen, works to the top of the key. Hardy sends it right side, now back to Hardy on the give and go. Hardy gets a pick set from Tyrus Grayson, feeds inside. This one won't go with a right-handed lay-in attempt. Rebounded by Aiden Ruthsatz for CBU. Skipped ahead for Mitchell Mays in transition, fed to Ruthsatz and around the horn. Lewis swings for Mitchell Mays, and now to Brad Miller. Miller leaning in, pushing it back outside for Ruthsatz. Lewis a three from the right wing. This one rattles off target. Lawan Hardy collects the miss.
Solid shot. Good shot there. He just didn't make it.
Hardy loping ahead, drops it off for Justin Allison on the left wing. Feeds for Davis, and around the horn it goes. Renee Scott with it on the right wing. Scott feeds for Davis. Davis, the kick out three. Knocks it down. Mike Davis now 7 for 21 in the season from outside. And West Alabama claims the edge back at 16-14.
He's got some colorful shoes there, Tyler, too.
He does have some tri-tone shoes with some white bottoms as well.
Exactly.
More on those in a moment. Mitchell Mays kicks to Brad Miller. Miller from the top side. This one never caught a piece of the iron. It's off the glass into the hands of Lawan Hardy. Alan Sharp, the sixth-year head coach for UWA, directing traffic from the bench, giving instructions to Hardy, who comes into the front court with a rock in hand. Given to the right side, and now back to the top of the key, swung around the horn. Grayson feeds to Scott. Scott back to Grayson underneath. Tyrus Grayson on the hook shot, turn around, won't go. Jarrett Gassett playing good defense right there. CBU feeds ahead for Mitchell Mays along the right sideline. Ruthsat sends it topside for Darrell Lewis, swings it around the horn. Gassett on the left low block, gets it, working against Grayson, draws the double, and a double dribble called on Jarrett Gassett will turn the basketball over. Tyler Haynes will check in addition to Malik Jones for CBU. Jones, Lewis, Haynes, Miller, and Mays on the floor for Christian Brothers. Hardy up floor through the timeline for West Alabama. Feeds Grayson. Now Hardy working on Malik Jones. Grayson along the right side, swings it back around. Hardy on the baseline cut. There's Grayson going to the cup, lays it up with the right hand, and puts it in from the left side. 18-14, a little 4-0 run out of the timeout for West Alabama. 8:40 to play. CBU down by 4. Sent to the top side for Mitchell Mays in the offensive half for CBU. Pass down low toward Lewis, intercepted by Justin Allison. West Alabama comes away with the takeaway. Inside, going to the rim is Hardy. Lays it up. First attempt won't go. Got the rebound. That was blocked in the second attempt as well. It's Darrell Lewis coming up with it in transition. Has it poked away from behind. Back and forth we go here up and down the floor at Canale Arena. Right now, CBU has turned it over 4 times. West Alabama has only given it away twice. Miller will inbound from the sideline left. Lewis skying to the cup. Can't put up the first attempt, but puts in the second. Great job by Brad Miller finding his teammate Lewis with the super hops, getting that one to the iron.
Great out-of-bounds call. Great play.
2-point game, 18-16. Christian Brothers down 2 without the basketball. Renee Scott sends it topside for Tyrus Grayson. Grayson feeds the left wing. Justin Allison steps into a 3 and hits. Allison this season shooting 5 of 22, make it now 6 of 23 from the three-point line on the year. It's a 5-point game. 21-16, a low-scoring first half with 7:40 to play. Here's Darrell Lewis along the right side. First touch for Tyler Haynes from the top of the key. 12 points in the last game for CBU against UAH. Miller double along the right sideline. Here's Mays, top of the key 3. Off the throat, rebounded by Mike Davis for UWA. West Alabama will work it up the left sideline. Hardy for Davis. Now for Grayson. Jones playing good defense on Hardy. Forces Hardy to back it out toward the half-court line. Grayson sets a pick. Jones around the pick. The double comes. Davis trying to send it off the bounce to Renee Scott left side. It was kicked out of bounds by Brad Miller. Subs on coming here.
Yeah, a lot of subs. I mean, Coach Riley's putting a lot of players in today. He knows everyone's got to be in there, and so it's a smart move on his part.
Depth being used in a tiring game. 7 minutes to go here in the first half. CBU trailing by 5 against West Alabama. 21-16. More in a moment on the CBU Bucks Live Network. 7 minutes to go here in the first half inside Canale Arena. A 21-16 lead for West Georgia over the Christian Brothers Buccaneers. CBU right now has nobody scoring more than 3 points. Brad Miller, Aiden Ruthsatz, Mitchell Mays, and Darrell Lewis all tied with 3 apiece. So far, LaJuan Hardy has the most for West Alabama. He has 7 on 3 of 7 shooting. Alongside Dr. John Smirelli, I'm Tyler Springs. This is CBU Bucks Live Basketball on the CBU Bucks Live Network. Justin Allison will inbound from the left sideline. Gets it into Tyrus Grayson, who feeds LaJuan Hardy. Hardy to the top of the key. Working inside is Allison. Switches hands in midair and lays it in with the left.
Great move.
Great move by Justin Allison to lay that one in on the reverse for a 23-16 West Alabama lead. CBU works it into the front court. This is Malik Jones going down the left side of the lane. Pulls back on the fadeaway jumper. This one won't fall. Rebounded by West Alabama.
We've had a couple of good shots, just not falling. Short little jumpers and just not falling.
Kurt Fennion into the game for the first time for CBU. Guarding the ball against Tyrus Grayson. Malik Jones playing defense on Hardy going down the lane, and a foul call as Hardy was slashing through traffic to the cup there. This will go on Malik Jones. So Hardy to the free throw line where he shoots 72%. Aiden Ruthsatz will check back in as Darrell Lewis will check out. 6:23 remaining here in the first half. Hardy will send it in from outside. Lob toward Grayson at the rim. This one fed up and in by Tyrus Grayson. And now it's a 25-16 West Alabama lead. 6:16 to go in the first half.
Tough stretch here for us. We just got to get some scoring here.
West Alabama has scored 7 consecutive points. Tyler Haynes trying to enter it inside to Kurt Fennion and throws it away through the baseline. Turnover by CBU. And the going gets tougher for the Buccaneers with 6:07 to play here in the first half. Haynes, as we mentioned, got 12 points, a season high, in his first college start against Alabama Huntsville on Saturday. Has to play like that man today. 5:52 remaining in the first half. Grayson swings it right side for Renee Scott. Scott trying to lob inside, and now a foul committed as Ricky Dunaway was working for position on the block against Haynes. Tyler Haynes a little overmatched in the early going, redshirt freshman out of Ridgeway High School here in Memphis. Haynes will check out, and a bevy of subs in. Lewis, Mays, both check back in, along with Jared Gassett for CBU.
Just trying to find some kind of combination that clicks, particularly on the offensive side of the ball.
Gassett so far has been the most effective as a post player. Allison gets the inbounds pass, puts up the jumper from the right side. No. Rebound Dunaway puts up the attempt from the weak side. That won't fall either. Ruthsatz claims the miss for CBU. Aiden Ruthsatz in transition, working against a much larger defender, and he's fouled by Tyrus Grayson. Ruthsatz, 5'8", challenging Grayson right there, who's 6'6", giving up quite a bit of size and length. Didn't have pretty much any chance to get the ball into the cup there, but drew the foul.
Definition of the hard foul right there, I think. It was clean. It wasn't like there was anything flagrant about it, just a hard foul.
Ruthsatz shooting 80% from the free throw line. Puts up his first attempt. And the red-haired guard misses off to the left side. One more coming for Aiden Ruthsatz, who played 33 minutes against Alabama Huntsville. Most since November the 23rd. He'll be counted on here, though he has yet to crack double figures in this campaign. Second free throw attempt off the mark as well for Ruthsatz, usually a sure-handed shooter from the free throw line.
Yeah, I would have bet he could make both of them. Instead, he missed both.
5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Christian Brothers down 25-16. Offensive foul ruled away from the basketball. This will go on Zach Allison. So Allison turns the basketball over. 5 fouls now against West Alabama, 5 already against CBU. Possession now presently favors the homestanding Christian Brothers Buccaneers. Fed inside, basket cut for Mitchell Mays, and the pick and roll got it to fall high off the glass and through the cup.
I think Mitchell Mays got to think about offense a lot more than he's been doing this past game.
Mays snaps a 7-0 run by West Alabama. Hardy into the front court along the left wing, guarded by Ruthsatz. Hardy backing down Ruthsatz. Hardy into the paint, lays it up on the reverse, gets it to go home.
That's a tough matchup for Aiden. Tough matchup.
Ruthsatz, very fundamentally sound, but Hardy, so athletic there, got it up and got it past Ruthsatz using his length. Here's Brad Miller outside the arc right side. Miller dribbling in. Miller puts up the attempt against Allison and draws the harm So Miller will go to the free throw line with 2 shots upcoming for the senior from Cincinnati, Ohio. Brad Miller, a weak showing in the game against Alabama Huntsville. 9 points on 11 shots from the field. But a chance to convert here from the free throw line. 89% free throw shooter, as you might expect, makes the first. One more coming. This to make it a 7-point game from the hands of senior Brad Miller. Second shot up, second shot good.
Very good.
Barely even had use for the iron there. 4:40 remaining in the first half. CBU down 27-20. West Alabama with the basketball. Hardy brings it across the Buccaneer logo at midcourt, right over the eye patch. Feeds for Tyus Grayson. Sent inside this time for Ricky Dunaway, guarded by Jarrett Gassett. On the right low block. One-on-one. Puts up the attempt from the baseline, won't go. Rebounded by Ruth Satz on the weak side. Ahead to Miller, into the front court. Mitchell Mays will swing for Ruth Satz along the right sideline high. Ruth Satz pulls it out closer to the corner of the tri-corner hat for the Buccaneer logo. Feeds for Lewis the free throw line. Lewis in the back down, kicks it outside. Mitchell Mays will try for 3. The rainbow is off target. Jarrett Gassett looking for the tap out on the rebound. Call for an over the back foul.
That's number 6, so we're not over the limit yet, so that's good.
One more foul to give for CBU, and one more to give as well for West Alabama. Renee Scott will receive the inbounds pass from LaJuan Hardy, and Hardy will give it or get it right back from Scott in the front court. Darren Johnson waiting at his post, goes to the right corner. Davis and Dunaway the bigs. Dunaway feeds high right sideline for Darren Johnson. Johnson works it over to Davis, now to the left side for Scott. Scott around the horn, swings it to Dunaway, now to Hardy. Hardy along the right wing, back to Johnson. Johnson face up on Darrell Lewis. 7 on the shot clock, feeds to Scott. Scott along the left wing, dribbles into the lane, foul going up with it, and he'll draw 2 shots. Renee Scott pinballing inside, able to work that shot up to the rim and draw the harm. With 4 seconds remaining on the shot clock, with 3:35 remaining in the first half, we'll have timeout on the floor. Free throws upcoming momentarily. CBU down 27-20 on the CBU Bucks Live Network. More from Canali Arena in a moment.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Still in.
Out of the timeout, Renee Scott to the free throw line. First shot up, no good for the senior from Mobile, Alabama. Scott shooting 76% from the line. One more coming for Renee Scott. Up and in. West Alabama increases their lead to 28-20 with 3:35 remaining here in the first half. Christian Brothers University has the basketball now. They bring it into the front court across the timeline. Aiden Ruth Satz with it, top side. Sends it left side for Brad Miller. Worked over to the right side instead, actually, for Darrell Lewis. Intercepted this time by Darren Johnson. Ahead in transition, LaJuan Hardy spins one way, goes back the other, works it up and in, spinning it and swirling it into the cup against Aiden Ruthsatz. And timeout taken by John T. Riley, who wants to illustrate a quick point for Ruthsatz, who lost Hardy in transition because Hardy is just cat quick.
He is quick. He goes both ways, to his right and to his left. He's just an incredible player. Tough for Aiden to do much against him. He's doing everything, as you said before. It's fundamentally he's sound, but he's doing. You just can't keep up with him. There's just no stopper in there, and there's no help defense behind Aiden either. I think that's the other piece that you look for is, if the guard gets beat, then where's the big man behind to help out or be an enforcer back there? And there's nothing there. It's just a one-on-one play. It's happened 3 or 4 times, and he's got what does he have right now? He's got 11. Is that what he's?
Right now he's got 11. That's right.
Yeah, so he's got 11. And they're all sort of his own doing. And so there's got to be a way to. But given us our size, we have no shot blocker in there. 6'7". Mitch Mays is not going to be a shot blocker in there. Gassett's not going to be a shot blocker. So there's just no one in there to help with to have some help defense in there.
Lawan Hardy with 11 points on 5 of 9 shooting from the floor early on. CBU is shooting 41%. UWA is shooting 46%. The difference being CBU is 7 of 17 from the field. They've turned it over 8 times. Meanwhile, West Alabama is 12 of 26 from the field. They've turned it over only 3 times. So the giveaways have hurt the Buccaneers here in the first half. They've just had less overall opportunities.
And as we discussed, CBU needs to get somebody out there who's going to take the ball and say, I can score. And there's no one who's been doing that right now. You got 3s and 2s and 4s. No one is taking a charge in terms of scoring either.
Brad Miller has 5. Mitchell Mays has 5. The rest are really balanced out. Here's Mays from the top of the key. Feeds inside for Jared Gassett. Gassett lost the handle in the lane, poked away by Dunaway, and picked up by Johnson for West Alabama. Tigers with control outside the arc with 2:54 remaining. Hardy feeds for Dunaway. Over to the right side for Renee Scott. On the baseline dribble drive. Kicks it back outside for Hardy. Lawan Hardy for 3. This one's lined up well, but won't go. Rebound beneath the basket for Ricky Dunaway. Puts it up and in. Pure muscle there for Ricky Dunaway.
We have nothing, no size there. No size there to counteract that.
6'8" and about 235 pounds. A load to handle underneath. Kick to the left corner for Aiden Ruthsat. Steps inside the arc, puts up the jumper from 2, and rattles it home. Aiden Ruthsat's at least with some kind of an answer there for CBU. The lead is 32-22 for West Alabama with 2:12 remaining in the first half. Possession now presently favoring Christian Brothers University. Lawan Hardy gets through a screen, feeds for Johnson, right wing 3. This one drops through. Right down the chimney for Darren Johnson for a 35-22 advantage for West Alabama.
This is a crucial time for CBU.
Miller forced left across the timeline. Gives for Mitchell Mays. Mays face up against Mike Davis. Sent to the left side for Darrell Lewis. Lewis on the deck, dribbling to the elbow. Lewis going to be called for the push-off. Offensive foul on Darrell Lewis. Just when you need things to go right for Darrell Lewis, they go wrong. Tyler Haynes will check in for CBU, and he'll take Darrell Lewis out of the contest. No, he'll take Jared Gassett out of the contest, and Malik Jones checks in as Lewis goes to the bench. So it is Miller, Ruthsatz, Jones, Haynes, and Mays on the floor for CBU. Scott, Hardy, Johnson, Dunaway, and Davis in for West Alabama.
I don't have the stats in front of me. We have very few assists, don't we, in this game?
CBU at present has 5 assists on their 8 made field goals. West Alabama has 4 assists on 14.
Okay.
Kicked inside. Dunaway going to the rim, lays it up. It's off the front of the iron, but a blocking foul called on Tyler Haynes, who cannot stay out of foul trouble. Haynes' second personal foul in only 4 minutes of action. Ricky Dunaway to the free throw line here. Dunaway, the senior, shooting 78% from the free throw stripe, coming off a 14-point effort in the loss to Valdosta State. Toes the free throw line, right foot slightly ahead of the left. In red Adidas shoes. Dunaway bends, lifts, and hits. 36-22 the margin in favor of West Georgia, or rather I should say West Alabama. The Tigers on top of Christian Brothers University by 14. A minute 25 to go in the half. Second attempt, a whistle first and a violation called. That'll go against Aaron Johnson and give CBU the basketball. So the second free throw attempt wiped away for a 78% free throw shooter. A small break for the Buccaneers. 1:22 remaining here in the first half as CBU gets possession of the offensive half. Brad Miller, I believe, going to be called for the push-off. Or will it be a foul on West Alabama's Renee Scott? Indecision by this officiating crew. I think one saw it one way and one saw it another way.
Exactly.
This will be Brad Miller going to the free throw line. 89% shooter gets a chance here for a 1-and-1. First one rattles in. One more coming for the Cincinnati, Ohio native. Miller's second attempt. Got it.
Okay.
Sunk by Brad Miller for a 36-24 edge for West Alabama. Hardy into the front court. Calls for timeout. Alan Sharp wants to set up a play with 1:09 remaining to try and get his squad a little bit further ahead. This is Christian Brothers University basketball on CBU Bucks Live. CBU is down 36-24 with 1:09 remaining in the first half against West Alabama. More in a moment from Canale Arena. Alongside Dr. John Smarelli, I'm Tyler Springs. This is CBU Bucks Live basketball on YouTube. 36-24, West Alabama with the lead. They have the basketball in the front court. Darren Johnson will inbound from the left sideline.
It's tough to win when you're only scoring in the low 20s in a half. It really is very, very difficult, especially a team against like a team such as West Alabama. So
Johnson will back the pass all the way up out into the backcourt beyond the half-court line, well out of range. Fed over to the right wing. Inside for Dunaway, going to the cup. This is going to be steps call on Ricky Dunaway first.
Okay, we have a chance to cut the lead to 10 or less, and that would be great going into the half.
56 seconds to go, CBU basketball. Miller drops it off for Aiden Ruthsatz, who comes with it top side. Ruthsatz looking for help. Ruthsatz spins it right side for Malik Jones. Back to Miller at the top, swung around to the left side for Ruthsatz. Baseline dribble drive, Ruthsatz underneath. Bouncing it for Tyler Haynes. Haynes with a second attempt, goes up and over Ricky Haynes. How did he do that?
I don't know, but we'll take it.
Somehow, some way, the rainbow drops home for Tyler Haynes.
It's a 10-point game, that's good.
36-26 with 25 ticks remaining. 1 second separates shot clock and game clock. The shot clock will expire before the game clock does. Hardy out near the half-court line, taking instruction from Alan Sharp. With 11 seconds remaining, he starts the action from the left wing. Hardy dribbling into the paint. Hardy pulls it back outside the arc. Hardy against Ruthsatz. Hardy puts up the two. This one floats and rattles off the rim. Haynes claims the miss, and there will be no final attempt at the horn. The Christian Brothers Buccaneers trail by 10 at the half, 36-26 here on CBU Bucks Live. All things considered, it could have been a lot worse.
It's a very, very solid performance. 10 points is doable. You're not blown out of your arena. There was a chance there when they went down by 15 that it could get to 20 and then there'd be problems. But so far, so good. We're okay. We got a lot of work to do. Someone's got to step up offensively in the second half for CBU, and we'll see what happens at that point.
CBU's leading scorer is Brad Miller with 7 points. West Alabama's leading scorer is Lawan Hardy with 11 points in the first half. Dr. John and I will come back near the end of the first half and give you some stats from the first half and a look ahead at the second. Meanwhile, in a couple of moments, we will talk with head coach Jesse Carmack of the CBU women here on CBU Bucks Live on YouTube. We are back at halftime on the CBU Bucks Live Network. This is CBU Bucks basketball on YouTube. We are joined by head women's basketball coach Jesse Carmack following the win over West Alabama. Christian Brothers took it 80-74 in that contest. Jesse, a great win for you guys, third conference win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I thought you guys played tremendously, and the thing that stands out first, I think, is the three-point shooting. It seemed like everybody was making from range. Was there a particular thing that you were trying to prey on, or it just seemed like shots were going in?
I just told him to shoot open shots. I mean, we're trying to force things inside. We're trying to force things off the bounce. And with our offense we run, I shoot the open shot. shoot it before you turn it over. That's always been my philosophy, and I had to remind Taylor and Darcy to do that, and they came up big for us tonight from the three-point line.
Seemed like freshman Darcy Duran really got comfortable, especially early going. I know at this point in the season, freshman's no longer a freshman, but what's the difference between the player that she was and the player that she is now, seeing that she's comfortable?
I just told her she needs to be confident in her shot. We need her to shoot the basketball. When she's only shooting 3 times a game, we struggle. And it's getting people to pay attention to her, and she's earning the respect from this conference, and she's been working on her shot a lot. She's in the gym every day, and I'm proud of her being able to knock down 3 threes today. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's hitting from outside, and keep shooting the ball. We need her to shoot double-digit shots.
Kelsey Atkins with the quietest 18 points I can remember in a while. First time playing more than 20 minutes this year, obviously coming back off of an injury and a long layoff for Kelsey. What does it mean to have her back in addition to 18 points in the scoreboard?
It's an amazing to have her back on the back on the court. It's her senior season. She has 2 months left. She's playing with some pain, but she realizes this is it. This is the end, and to be able to have experience on the court has been huge. Kelsey's been here. She's played for 4 years. At Christian Brothers, not necessarily in my program, but just the experience on the court and the physicality and the understanding of what this conference is huge. And that's something that we need, and I'm excited to have her this remaining 2 months.
What can you take forward from this game against Montevallo coming up on Saturday?
Yeah, we've got to do work on keeping people from scoring in the paint. It's something that we've talked about the past 2 games. We gave up 44 points in the paint tonight. We play zone, and that's, teams are – we do have size, but we need to continue to work defensively, and our post players are getting sealed way too easily, and it's something that we talk about on a daily basis. And I know that's going to be, a big theme for going in on Saturday, is being able to keep people out of the paint. If we can do that, I think our guards do a pretty good job on the perimeter.
Now, just thinking back to tonight, it was Zoe Watts, I think, who was giving you a little bit of trouble in the early going, 6'2" freshman for them. You threw Chastity Pope at her for a little while. I think you put a couple others on her for a little while, just in terms of who you played down low. You seem like you also neutralized her for a little bit there, and she didn't have as big of an impact, I think, and Garrett Hammett didn't have as big of an impact as they could have. Did you feel like they adjusted to what they were doing early in terms of the way your kids were playing them?
Yes, and it's something that we talked about at halftime. We talked about the action that they were running, and they really just were trying to screen our 5 inside. They're trying to screen it and get it drops up. And one thing that we talk about when we play any team is player personnel. Who can we let shoot the basketball? Who do we need to close out tight on? And tendencies. And I think that we focus more on that in practice defensively than we do on actually our zone reps. Because if we can play player personnel tendencies, we'll find success. And I think that we did a pretty good job with that tonight. Now, with that being said, Bria Dent had a tremendous game. She did. She was in the paint. She was scoring offensive rebounds, and she's a very good player, and she's very athletic. And she gave us some fits. I'm just fortunate that we were able to score more points than them tonight.
We'll take it. CBU takes it 80-74 over West Alabama on the women's side, so no less than a split for CBU against West Alabama here on Thursday evening. Head coach Jesse Carmack, thanks for joining us. Congrats on conference win number 3.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll see Jesse next time when the Bucks return home later in the year. They come back home to take on, I believe it'll be actually a couple of weeks before they come back home, because they go to Montevallo, and then they play Lane and then Mississippi College coming up here against the rest of January in the GSC slate. But we appreciate Coach Carmack joining us. We'll come back with Dr. John Smorelli in a moment on CBU Bucks Live and the second half of the men's game. Back at halftime here on the CBU Bucks Live Network alongside Dr. John Smirelli. I'm Tyler Springs. CBU down 36-26 at the break to West Alabama. And in that first half, a lot went on. A lot of it was a lack of scoring, Dr. John. But CBU ultimately came away with 10 turnovers. That certainly hurt them. They ended up with 11 fewer field goal attempts than that West Alabama side. They only gained just one offensive rebound as well, so the second chance is hard to come by for the Buccaneers.
And you can't expect second chances with this team. They're just too big, too strong, too physical, too athletic. What we've got to do is find someone who's going to start putting the ball in a hole and scoring the basketball, and I think that's the only way that this team can come back. 10 points is not an insurmountable lead. It was up to 15, I believe, that first half, but we can't turn the ball over like we just did right there.
Both sides shooting in the mid 40% range. West Alabama versus a turnover, and CBU forced it right back. Here's Ruth Sats down floor, kicks to Mitchell Mays on the right side. Miller works to the center, cutting to the basket is Darrell Lewis underneath, puts it up, and this is going to be a foul call, I believe, against West Alabama before Lewis was able to sky to the rim.
And it was good to see that they were passing the ball. That's something we didn't see a lot of that first half. A lot of one-on-one play. It's tough to score one-on-one when you're facing such a tough team like West Alabama. So it was good to see them moving that ball around there, and they picked up a foul there. That's good, too.
The ball is certainly moving at a little higher clip here in the early going.
But again, I think guys like Mitch Mays have got to look to that basket. If they had open shots, they've got to take them.
Miller looking to loft it in. Miller running out of time, and it's a 5-second violation on Miller.
That's a tough start to this half. Couple turnovers, no good shots.
10-point game with 19:32 to play here in the second half. Lawan Hardy will bounce it ahead over the timeline for West Alabama. Sent to the left corner for Darren Johnson, who's hounded by by Darrell Lewis. Kick to Johnson, outside the arc, left wing three, this one rattles home.
That hurts.
39-26 the lead with 19:10 to play here inside Canale Arena. Aiden Ruthsats working it over on the right side, worked around the horn. Miller puts it on the deck, sent to Ruthsats. Swung around for Darrell Lewis. Lewis over to Miller, to Ruthsats in the left corner. Three on the way. This one's off back iron. Rebound snatched by DeAndre Harper for West Alabama. Lawan Hardy brings it across the timeline with 18:41 remaining. Sent outside the arc for Johnson. Left wing three. This one rattles out. Rebound snatched by Joshua Jackson. And Ruthsats claims the miss, or rather Ruthsats brings it up the floor for CBU. 18:25 to play. CBU within 13, but needs to score. Ruthsats sends it back to Lewis. Darrell Lewis, top side. Lewis puts it on the deck, stops his dribble in the negative area between the paint and the arc, and turns it over.
That's our third turnover in the start of this half in less than 2 minutes.
CBU not doing a good job keeping hands on the basketball. Johnson into the lane, drops it off for Dunaway. Dunaway can't put it up and in from the left side. Rebound snatched by Mitchell Mays. Ruthsats out in transition with DeAndre Harper right behind him, sends it to the right side. Now Lewis picks up his dribble, sends to Miller. Miller over to Mays. Mays trying to back down Harper, skips it back outside. Lewis on the deck, slashing in, kicks to Jackson. Baseline J, too strong. Rebound tapped right to Hardy for West Alabama. 17:35 to play as Hardy comes down floor quickly to the baseline, goes back out, kips it back in, then passes that one to no one. Tried to swing it around a defender and ultimately sent it away, spiraling out of bounds. Malik Jones checks in for CBU, so it is Miller, Mays, Jackson, Jones, and Ruthsats on floor for the Christian Brothers Buccaneers. Miller behind the screen, right wing three. This one's off the iron right side, and Harper comes away with the board for West Alabama.
That's a frustration shot. Not the greatest of shots, just that we weren't getting a lot of shots, so Miller decided to heave one up.
Hardy along the right sideline, lobbed inside. This is Ricky Dunaway beneath the cup. Kicks it back outside for Renee Scott. Scott slashing his way into the lane, floats up a right-handed shot a la Mike Conley and lays it in for two. 16:58 remaining here in the second half, but it's been all West Georgia so far. They pushed the lead out to 41-26 by scoring the first 4 points of the second half. Back with more on the CBU Bucks Live Network in a moment. Out of the timeout with 16:57 remaining in the game. Brad Miller and the CBU Buccaneers have the basketball, trailing 41-26. Miller brings it into the front court. Mitchell Mays has it left wing. Mays sends for Miller, over to the right side for Aiden Ruthsatz. Ruthsatz, a bounce pass along the right sideline, fed back to Ruthsatz, top side. Now to Malik Jones. Jones on the right wing. Jones, a step back two. This one launched off target, rebounded by Ricky Dunaway for West Alabama. Here come the Tigers in transition. On the hop is Lawan Hardy. Hardy with a dribble through his legs. Trying to mix up Aiden Ruthsatz. Got right behind him. Step back on the two, and Hardy cannot finish it. Rebound weak side for DeAndre Harper. Vied for by Brad Miller and pulled in by CBU. Up the floor comes Ruthsatz. In transition, swings to Malik Jones. Jones on the deck. Going to the cup, nowhere to go with it. Kicks it outside. Ruthsatz for three. This one rattles home.
Okay, we needed this. We needed something. We needed some spark.
First bucket of the second half by Aiden Ruthsatz and CBU. 41-28 with 15:57 to play. Here after halftime. Lawan Hardy works it into the front court to Darren Johnson, left wing. Sent topside for Renee Scott to the right wing for DeAndre Harper. Harper dribbles it toward the right baseline, but a foul called away from the ball on Joshua Jackson. Jackson has had a hard time keeping his hands to himself. That's three.
That's his third.
So timeout on the floor will come once again with 15:45 remaining here inside Canale Arena. Couple of statistics for you as we call timeout. 7 points is the leading scoring total for CBU. Brad Miller and Aiden Ruthsatz both with 7. Miller 1 of 4 from the field. Ruthsatz 3 of 6. As for Lawan Hardy, he's got 11 to lead UWA at the moment. UWA shooting 45% from the floor, 16 of 35. CBU shooting 41% from the floor, 10 of 24. UWA has 11 more field goal attempts than CBU at the present time. UWA is 6 of 12 from outside. CBU is only 3 of 11. The Buccaneers are 5 of 8 from the free throw line, whereas West Alabama is 3 of 6. West Alabama winning the free throw battle, or rather winning the rebound battle 18-15. Currently 6 assists for CBU on 10 made field goals and 6 assists for West Alabama on 16 made field goals. That shows you a little bit more of the creativity on the side of West Alabama. They're able to get their own shots a little more than CBU has been.
Exactly. We're not able to drive through them. We don't have the one-on-one players. We've got to be able to pass the ball and get the open shot, but make the open shot also, which we have not been doing either. So we haven't gotten a lot of good open shots. It's been shots we've gotten have been not the prettiest of offensive plays, and what I'm seeing right here.
Mike Davis will check in for West Alabama with 15:43 remaining here in the second half. Davis gives the ball up to Lawan Hardy. Hardy crosses over against Lewis, able to shake him. Joshua Jackson comes in with a secondary help and blocks the shot at the rim. Kick to the corner. Hardy a three. This is going to be short. Rebounded by Aiden Ruthsatz for CBU.
It's the first time I've seen some help defense.
And Malik Jones called for stepping on the left sideline. Will turn the basketball over. Joshua Jackson came flying over with the block there on the help defense. Great job by CBU.
Great job, finally.
Some high-flying action here in the middle of the second half. Mike Davis, who just entered the game, the forward for West Alabama, previously at Murray State, and now a foul away from the basketball on Ricky Dunaway. No, it's on Renee Scott. He's called for the block. So CBU gets possession. The reason why I mentioned Davis's entrance to the game is because he previously spent some time at Murray State.
Okay.
And we have another Murray State alum in the building. Behind the West Alabama bench, Grizzlies guard John Morant taking in the game. Over to the left side for Aiden Ruthsatz. Ruthsatz sent to the top of the key for Darrell Lewis. On the deck, Jones goes up to the cup, lays it up. Can't get it to fall, but it will be 2 foul shots coming for Malik Jones. Maybe a little bit of Morant's good luck throughout this NBA season can rub off on CBU. You never know.
I could probably find a CBU uniform for him.
Yeah, I bet
who would
we
know
can.
the difference?
That's right.
Who would know? He could probably take over the game at this point in time, even a 13-point game, and maybe make a difference here.
You can pull some strings? That's what you're saying?
I don't, I could find a uniform. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Malik Jones' first free throw attempt goes down smoothly. One more coming for the Baltimore, Maryland native, transfer from Mercyhurst University. Jones eyes the rim, knocks it down. 41-31, 10-point game with 14:50 to play here inside Canale Arena. Fed to the left wing. Here's Renee Scott trying to work it down the lane. Crossover dribble. Pulls back the shot and lets fly.
What a move.
A three-pointer for Renee Scott.
Between he and Hardy, the two of those guys, just are great athletes.
They call it a two-pointer with the foot on the line for Renee Scott. 43-30 the lead. Swung over to the left side. Inside, the drive from Gassett. This one won't go off the underside of the rim, but knocked out of play by CBU. Mitchell Mays up off the bench. Will check into the contest and shake Jared Gassett out. 14:15 remaining here inside Canale Arena. CBU down by 13, 43-30. Malik Jones will loft it in for Joshua Jackson. Now an offensive foul away from the ball. It's going on Darrell Lewis.
I don't know, Tyler. I haven't seen this many offensive fouls in one game on both sides.
And
forever.
Multiple on Darrell Lewis. That's his third. 14-13 remaining here in the second half. CBU turns it over again. Their 15th turnover of the game. 14:07 remaining. Kick top side, bouncing into the lane as Renee Scott puts up a left-handed attempt. Won't go. Came down hard on his noggin and still has yet to get up. 5-on-4 for CBU. They'll play it on. Lewis lost one to the rim. This one won't go. Davis collects the miss, and now timeout call as Renee Scott has yet to get up from the hardwood. Scott is laying on the deck underneath with hands covering his head. Renee Scott now rolls over onto his back and will be attended to by a member of the UWA training staff after going to the deck hard, trying to lay that one up in acrobatically from the left side of the lane. Scott gets to his feet, whacked the head pretty hard there on the deck.
Came down pretty hard on the back of the head there, but hopefully he'll be fine.
So CBU gets a quick breather. 13:52 remaining in the half. Buccaneers still trying to work their way back from a 13-point hole.
I mean, 13 is a doable number, but you just got to score. I mean, it's 30 points in, 27 minutes is not a lot of scoring.
Alongside Dr. John Smirelli, I'm Tyler Springs. This is CBU Bucks Live Basketball. Lawan Hardy into the front court, feeds for Ricky Dunaway. Dunaway drops it off for Justin Allison behind the screen, right side. Allison into the lane. Allison on the smaller Malik Jones, feeds outside to the left. Darren Johnson dribbling into the paint, and a foul call, I believe, going to be a reach-in against CBU. They'll put it on Malik Jones. 2 fouls on Jones, both here in the second half.
He took out the floor, so.
Hardy lobs it in for Mike Davis. Fed to Johnson. Johnson going across the lane. Wide angle layup. Won't fall. Rebound underneath for Dunaway. An easy put in as Josh Jackson was doing his best to guard him, but overwhelmed by the 6'8" Dunaway. 13:20 remaining. CBU down by 15, 45-30. Rootsatz works to the right sideline. Rootsatz hounded by Dunaway, and now a foul call against Ricky Dunaway. Dunaway's first personal foul puts the ball out of bounds baseline left side, where Malik Jones will send it in for CBU. 15-point game, 13-14 remaining. Lobbed in outside the three-point arc for Joshua Jackson. Mays, bounce pass to Jones, working on Allison. Left hand bounce pass along the right block, and now this ball will go out of bounds off the hands of CBU.
Another turnover.
Unfortunately, Joshua Jackson turns it over right there. 16 turnovers by CBU. 12:56 remaining in the game. CBU down 15. Hardy on the bounce pass to the elbow. Davis puts it on the deck. Davis working up and in against Mitchell Mays. Can't get it to go. Gets his own miss and follows with 2. And with 12:42 remaining in the contest, John T. Riley will burn his final timeout to try and knock some sense into his guys. Clearly did not like the defensive structure right there.
Exactly. I think he's taking teaching to its extreme here with all these timeouts before we still got 12 minutes to go in the game. But he's trying to teach us. It's a young team against an experienced team. He's trying to use this as an opportunity, almost like a practice, to sort of teach his guys what they should be doing. Hopefully it'll pay off later in the year. But having no timeouts with 12 minutes to go makes comebacks very, very difficult.
CBU still does not have a player in double figures at this moment. Brad Miller, Aiden Ruthsatz, each with 7. Nobody else with more than 5. Mitchell Mays has 5. Everybody else has scored either 3 or 2. Kurt Fenian has been in the game for 1 minute but did not score. Lawan Hardy with 11 points for West Alabama. Renee Scott with 10. Out of the timeout with 12:42 remaining, Brad Miller will walk the ball across the timeline at midcourt through the Buccaneer logo right over the eye patch. CBU down 47-30 to the visiting West Alabama Tigers. Fed to the top of the key. There's Brad Miller, works to the right side for Mitchell Mays. Mays feeds inside. Going to the back of the basket is Josh Jackson. He's called for the double dribble.
Another turnover. Trying to go one-on-one against double team doesn't generally work, especially when the double team are athletic players.
Jackson getting more and more frustrated by the moment. Just has not had a lot of good possessions.
Which is not good, which then leads to a foul on the other end. That's traditionally that will happen. Right.
12:18 remaining here inside Canale Arena. Lawan Hardy with it for West Alabama. Feeds for Davis, back to Hardy. Hardy inside to Dunaway in the left low block. Dunaway going to take Jackson to the hole and does so successfully. The 6'8 Dunaway having a clinic against Josh Jackson right there.
Exactly.
He's got about 30 pounds on him and used all of it to get the bucket. 12 minutes to go here inside Canale Arena as Miller works it to the top of the key for Mitchell Mays. Mays feeding underneath. Jackson kicks it back outside. Ruth Satz looks into a 3. This one rattles out. Rebounded by Dunaway, and West Alabama will slow the action. Hardy going to bounce it ahead, guarded by Ruth Satz. Lawan Hardy works off a pick from Dunaway down the left side, kicks to the corner. Johnson a 3. This one's going to be off the iron, rebounded by Davis on the backside, and Davis is going to be fouled by Mitchell Mays. CBU has scored only 4 points since the half. Meanwhile, West Alabama has poured in 13. It's a 49-30 lead with 11:26 to play on the CBU Bucks Live Network. West Alabama on top of Christian Brothers. Back with more in a moment. Out of the timeout with 11:26 to play here inside Canale Arena. It is West Alabama 49, Christian Brothers 30. Alongside Dr. John Smorelli, I'm Tyler Springs. CBU comes back to the floor shooting 37% in the game. West Alabama is shooting 44%, but CBU has nobody in double figures. West Alabama has 2 players there.
This has not been the start of the second half that Coach Riley really wanted to see here.
West Alabama with the basketball in the offensive set half court. Lawan Hardy working against Ruth Satz, puts up a jumper. This one's off target. Rebound tapped out by Dunaway. It'll go all the way out beyond the left sideline, out of play for CBU's possession. Ruth Satz on the floor along with Josh Jackson. Lewis. Miller, Mays, and Lewis. Miller inside, going to Joshua Jackson, trying to go for the reverse layup, pushed too far underneath by the bigger Ricky Dunaway. Hardy into the front court, working one-on-one against Aiden Ruthsat, sends it topside. Over to Justin Allison, fed back to the left side for Ricky Dunaway. Dunaway feeding to Renee Scott, topside. Scott sends right side, this time for Hardy. Hardy, baseline drive, pulls it back, trying to go by Aiden Ruthsat, put up, but not put in, knocked out of bounds. It'll be CBU basketball.
Okay, good hustle there. I think Rutsatz is going to be dreaming about Hardy all night long. Just such a tough matchup for him.
Fed ahead for Lewis in the outlet. Drops it off for Jackson underneath, and the CBU Buccaneers pull off a little quick pitch
pass
basket.
and a layup. I haven't seen a lot of those tonight.
Few and far between in this second half.
Oh, you
CBU
got
has
that.
now scored only 6 points in the second half compared to 13 put in by West Alabama. Fed to Davis on the left low block. Davis working in against Mitchell Mays. Mays
Little travel there,
able
I
to
think.
force him into the travel. DeAndre Harper will check back in for West Alabama. Davis goes to the bench, as does Dunaway. So here is the opportunity for CBU if they are to work against a little bit of a smaller lineup. Mays, Miller, Ruthsatz, Lewis, and Jackson on the floor. Ruthsatz handling outside the arc for CBU. Aiden Ruthsatz sends it to the right side for Darrell Lewis. Bouncing middle of the lane. This is Joshua Jackson, lost the handle, got it back. Miller has it outside the arc now. Brad Miller to his left. Miller around the Mitchell Mays screen, cannot get free from Renee Scott. Miller for three, contested, this one won't fall. Rebound comes down to DeAndre Harper for West Alabama along the left sideline. Pushed ahead in transition, intercepted on the attempted alley-oop as Jackson goes to the floor hard. He stole the ball away. Fed ahead for Mitchell Mays. Lewis on the catch, left side. Lewis in traffic, puts it up against contact, and a foul will be called as Darrell Lewis goes in. I think Brad Miller got the short end of the stick on a three-point jumper right in front of us here where he was contacted.
Looks like they got the arm, but didn't call it. So.
But at least now Darrell Lewis will get a pair of shots coming to the free throw line.
Exactly.
Now Lewis is not particularly good from there. 46% on the season, and 1 of 2 tonight. Can he find the magic touch with 9:30 to play? First shot, good. One more coming. 16-point game.
There's still time, but you've got to get something going here.
Darrell Lewis. Second one off the mark, rebounded by Joshua Jackson, put back up, won't
Jackson.
go, rebounded by DeAndre Harper.
That would have been a great opportunity for him, sort of take away some of his frustration.
Great initiative taken by Joshua Jackson, but could not finish the move. 9:18 to play with West Alabama handling in the front court. Renee Scott has it right wing, working against Miller. Fed to the left side for Allison. Justin Allison kicks it left side. Harper for three. This one's off target, rebounded by Brad Miller. Christian Brothers with the basketball in transition, work to the left side for Lewis. Lewis lost the handle, dives forward on the deck, it goes through the baseline, and now we've got the ball out of bounds going the other way. It'll be West Alabama basketball with 8:56 to play. Lewis lost it, 17th Christian Brothers turnover tonight. Allison, Hardy, Scott, Davis, and Harper on floor for West Alabama on offense. Davis has it, handling outside the arc. Right wing to Scott, swung around the horn. This is Allison, gives to Hardy. Hardy behind the screen, top of the key. Feeds Harper, outside the arc. Left side, Allison, three on the way, and drains it for a trace. Up over the half-century mark climbs West Alabama, 52-33 their lead, with 8.5 minutes to go here inside Canale Arena. Fed to the front court for Mitchell Mays and CBU. Bounce pass across the lane off the foot of Harper. It skips out of play.
They've got an interesting defense where they'll double team. They're playing man-to-man, but they'll double team the player with the ball that he tries to dribble. And just, it's a great defense. It really is. It's a very, very strong defense.
Miller lobs in outside the free throw lane. Caught by Lewis. Darrell Lewis will leave it for the point guard, Miller. Brad Miller against Renee Scott.
He tries to take it in, they'll double team. It's a nice defense.
Lewis, pull up three. This one's off iron, rebounded by Hardy for West Alabama. And Hardy smiles at Harper, who were both going for the rebound. 8:03 remaining as Hardy brings it across the 10-second line. Lawan Hardy feeds for DeAndre Harper. Triggers a straight on three. This one's going to go nowhere close, but I believe a foul called on the shot. This will be 3 shots coming for DeAndre Harper. I couldn't see who tagged him. Quite honestly, I didn't know anyone was in his airspace.
Didn't look like it. That didn't look like it at all, but
that's not what the referees saw. 7:55 remaining.
I think it was Jackson. I think they gave it to Jackson.
It will be a foul on Joshua Jackson, his fourth. 7:55 to go. West Alabama on top, 52-33. Back with more in a moment on the CBU Bucks Live Network. Out of the timeout with 8 minutes to play. Christian Brothers University down 52-33. DeAndre Harper going to the free throw line for West Alabama. Harper shooting 66% from the stripe this year. First shot good. One more coming for Harper, who will be 26 next week. Spent a little bit of time away from basketball between 2015 and 2017, but has come back to the fold and has been a strong presence now for the University of West Alabama. Sinks the second free throw with one more coming. Harper lifts and puts it home.
All right, three all nets.
No doubt about it.
He's a good player.
22-point advantage for West Alabama against Christian Brothers University with 7:50 to play. Aiden Rutsat steps into a long 2-point jumper from the top of the key. This one won't fall. Rebounded by Justin Allison for UWA. The West Alabama Tigers, a team that went to the second round of the NCAA tournament last year, looking for a repeat effort this season. Fed around the horn. Allison from three. Right side. This won't go. Davis claims the miss for West Alabama. They get a fresh shot clock at 20 seconds. Harper gives back for Hardy. Left wing. Hardy over on the left sideline. Drops it off for Renee Scott. Scott, hesitation move into the lane. Puts it up, won't go. Batted around. Kick back to Mike Davis. And the CBU defense has to stay in their defensive set for another 20 seconds at least. Hardy trying to burn some clock. Crossing over, slipped a little bit, kept the dribble alive. Going to the baseline, Hardy backing up now. Hardy along the baseline. Hardy finally has it poked away. Just got too tired of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And now Lewis is fouled going up floor.
Little help defense there, which is always good to see.
Lawan Hardy, I think, just wanted a rest right there, honestly.
Yeah, I think so. I think he got tired of dribbling and
Brad Miller will bring it up floor.
didn't see much happening.
Chris Dudley to the scorer's table, set to check in momentarily for UWA. Ruth Satz with control. Aiden Ruthsat sends it to Brad Miller. Miller almost had it ripped away by Renee Scott, and we've got a tie-up call. This tie-up will now favor West Alabama.
Good defense.
Not much more to say. Dudley into the contest for the first time this afternoon. 22-point game with 6:41 to go. So Dudley will inbound for Lawan Hardy. It is Dudley, Hardy, Davis, Harper, all in there along with Deron Johnson. Johnson has it outside the arc. Johnson bounces for Mike Davis. Pull-up jumper from the left wing, drains it. Mike Davis able to net it for two. The former Murray State product makes it a 57-33 lead. CBU brings it into the front court. Brad Miller with it. Sent over to the right side. Now for Tyler Haynes. Bouncing inside for Joshua Jackson. Jackson up and under move. Can't get it to go. Rebound Lewis. Ripped down underneath and put back up and through.
Great play. Good hustle. It's good to see the Bucs still hustling, even down by 20-plus points.
Snaps a 8-0 run by the West Alabama Tigers with 5:56 to go. Dudley over in the left wing. Fed around the horn for Johnson as West Alabama looks to burn some time. Davis backing down Haynes, kicks it outside. Johnson, dribble drive, had the ball ripped away for a moment, gets it back. Guarded by Lewis, 5 in the shot clock. Johnson diving in, and Lewis rips it out of his hands.
And then he's fouled. Good hustle. Good
A
hustle.
foul called on Johnson to stop play as the efforts of Darrell Lewis able to get CBU the basketball, and it is the 7th foul against West Alabama, so CBU will have Darrell Lewis shooting a couple of free throws, or at least one, and if he makes that one, he'll earn a second. Lewis with the shorts rolled up, wipes off the undersides of his red and white Nike shoes. Steps to the line, feeds it up, rattles out. Off the mark, and the chance goes begging for CBU. Christian Brothers, 8 of 12 in their free throws this evening. 5:28 remaining as Harper gets it in the front court for West Alabama. Dudley kicks to the left side for Davis, the former Murray State product. Drops it off for Renee Scott. Scott around the hedge. Scott outside the arc with 9 on the shot clock. Crossover, step back, won't go from 2-point range. Rebounded underneath by Chris Dudley and fed up and in. No rebounding help in the interior for CBU allowed Dudley to get loose. 5 minutes to go, and CBU is down 59-35. West Alabama slowly stretching things out. Miller along the right sideline, looking for help. Miller, hounded by Dudley, gets it away for Malik Jones, or rather for Darrell Lewis. Lewis lost the handle in traffic. It's batted away and taken in by West Alabama. 19 turnovers tonight for CBU. 4:36 remaining. Lawan Hardy into the front court, and the pass from Harper towards Hardy is out of play off his fingertips as they were trying to do a little give and go around the perimeter. Tyrus Grayson will check in, taking DeAndre Harper out. So it is Grayson, Davis, Dudley, Scott, and Hardy on the floor for West Alabama. Brad Miller, bounce pass the free throw line for Tyler Haynes. Drop off for Darrell Lewis, going down the right side of the lane, lays it up with a wide angle shot off the window. Great job by Lewis to get Christian Bellers up to 37, but they are still a long way away from 59 for West Georgia, or rather West Alabama. Around the screen works Hardy over to the right side. Kicks for Tyrus Grayson. Dudley now inside for Davis. Kick to the right corner. Far corner pass. Renee Scott drains the three, and that is probably the dagger in this one. A 62-37 advantage for West Alabama. They have stolen all of the life out of the Christian Brothers offense tonight.
I guess the bad news is he made a three. The good news is I guess he's okay in his head when he fell at one time. So
62-37. Lewis spinning into the lane, drops it off downstairs. This is Joshua Jackson trying to work it up. Didn't have room. Gives it back outside. Miller for three. Straight on, knocks it through.
Great.
62-40, the lead for West Alabama with 3:25 to play. Hardy across the timeline along the left sideline. Works to the middle of the floor. Hardy gives it back for Tyrus Grayson. Grayson sent left side. Three-pointer from the corner for Davis, and it rings true. Mike Davis showing his versatility, even though he came into this game shooting poorly from three-point range. Davis entered this game just 6 of 20 from outside on the year, shooting a little bit better in this contest. Davis has made a pair in this game. Lewis outside the three-point arc for Christian Brothers. Feeds Miller. Miller will try again for three. Miller's hot. Rattles one home.
Hot. It's good to see Brad not giving up in this game. He's continuing to play hard.
Well, Brad Miller with a couple of triples knocked down for CBU has found the scoring edge late. CBU needed a little bit sooner than this. 2.5 minutes to play. Grayson around the horn. Hardy trying to lob inside for Davis. They're going to post up Davis on Tyler Haynes. And with a help defense coming is Joshua Jackson, but a foul call on Jackson. That's his fifth, I believe, if it's on Jackson. And it'll be instead, I think, on Tyler Haynes, keeping Jackson from disqualification. We've got 2:25 remaining here inside Canale Arena. 65-43 is the lead for West Alabama. Back with more in a moment on the CBU Bucks Live Network. Out of the timeout with 2:25 to play. Mike Davis at the free throw line. The senior out of East Bruton, Alabama, puts in the first free throw for a 65, make it 66-43 lead. Nathan Bates checks in for the first time in this contest for West Alabama. One more for Mike Davis. Puts it up, puts it in. 67-43. Davis played last season alongside John Morant and Maurice State. Fed to the left side for Aiden Ruthsatz, and suddenly the Buccaneers are hot from the outside. 2 minutes to play. Still a 67-46 lead. Allison has it in the front court for West Alabama. Fed to the left side. This is Nathan Bates handling and finally gets it away for Allison. Allison lost the handle for a moment and called for steps.
They've got a break in that one, but that's okay.
Into the front court come the CBU Buccaneers after the turnover. Darrell Lewis rises, can't hit the free throw lane jumper.
So, yeah.
And now over the back call on Lewis. And this will be, I believe, 4 on Darrell Lewis. And this will put CBU, or rather put West Alabama back at the free throw line. Allison's first free throw sunk. One more coming for Justin Allison, the sophomore out of Pelham, Alabama. Lifts and hits. 69-46, the lead for West Alabama. Alan Sharp claps encouragement from the sideline as CBU brings it into the front court. Joshua Jackson outside the three-point arc. Drops it off for Darrell Lewis. Kicked outside for Aiden Ruthsatz. Tries a three and drops it in.
He's shooting well tonight. That's a good sign for the future.
Great to see the Buccaneers dropping in the three-point shots. I think they've hit 4 now in the fourth quarter. Didn't see these earlier on in the contest.
No.
Fed to Davis over on the left side. He'll try a three. This is short. Rebounded by Aiden Ruthsatz for CBU with 1:16 to play. Ruthsatz into the lane and fouled. Swatted across the face. I think he might have gotten hit on the eye.
We'll get a couple free throws, at least 1-1. Cut the lead to under 20, Tyler. With 1:10 to go.
It's about time. So here is Ruthsatz at the free throw line. Raises and hits. One more coming.
He's had a nice ball game. 14 points up there. He's had to defend Hardy all day long.
He's had a tough one.
He'll be sleep well tonight. No studying for him tonight.
Ruthsatz raises and hits again. 69-51 with 1:08 to play here inside Canale Arena. Behind the back dribble by Allison. Lost Lewis in the shuffle. Kick to the left side. Bates for three. This one never caught the rim. Rebounded by Darrell Lewis. Fed ahead for Tyler Haynes. Haynes on the baseline. Stepped on the out of bounds marker and loses the handle. .51 seconds remain. 69-51. Fed to the right side for West Alabama. Allison with it. Back to Grayson outside the arc. Davis now to Johnson. Johnson kicks over to the right side. Dudley lines into a three. This one won't go. Rebound Brad Miller for CBU. This is Lewis for three. From the left wing, won't go. Rebounded by Davis. And Davis will collect for West Alabama, who will work it across the timeline calmly with 17 seconds left.
They'll probably just pull it back and hold on.
I don't see why they'll shoot it again.
I don't think they will.
So the CBU Buccaneers will fall to 5-9 this evening and 2-5 in Gulf South Conference play. West Alabama will improve to 10-3 in Gulf South Conference play as Darrell Lewis comes up with a late steal and tries to lay it in but can't even get there before the buzzer. West Alabama goes to 10-4 and they are now 4-2 in Gulf South Conference play. Thanks so much for joining me tonight, Dr. John. I'm sorry they couldn't get a win for you.
Yeah, Tyler, it was a tough battle. It was a very talented West Alabama team, and we were undermanned with a couple injuries and a couple illnesses, and you can't win that way. You definitely too many turnovers, not enough good shooting. It's one of those nights. So, but the long season still, and I'm optimistic on these Buccaneers. So it's great to be with you, Tyler. You're a great colleague. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Glad to have you alongside. And we'll see you again in the future for more CBU Bucks basketball.
Sounds great. Sounds very good.
Later in the month, CBU drops this one against the West Alabama Tigers by a score of 69-51 this evening. West Alabama improves to 10-4 and 4-2 in Gulf South play. CBU falls to 5-9 overall and 2-5 in Gulf South Conference action. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. You'll see the Christian Brothers, the Bucks will go on the road next before they return home for their next action as CBU goes on the road to take on Montevallo at 3 o'clock coming up on Saturday afternoon. The CBU Buccaneers will return home later this month as they will take on the visiting Lane College. I beg your pardon. They will be here at home on Saturday against Montevallo, and they will take on Lane College at 7 o'clock on Monday. So 2 more home games coming as the CBU Buccaneers face off against conference opponents here in the Gulf South. Final score once again, 69-51 as CBU falls tonight against West Alabama. I'm Tyler Springs. Thanks for joining us on the CBU Bucks Live Network.